Welcome to O-Talkin' with Dave. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? I hope you're well. I hope you're happy, healthy, and terrific. I am top shelf myself, and I feel like I've got some momentum going. The Big Mo. I don't know, just a little bit. Homework and play are all kicking it right now, and I like it. Wasn't always that way. It was, give me a few months ago, and I couldn't find my, what did my granddad say? Couldn't find my butt with both hands. Yeah, but now I feel like I'm in the middle of it. Got the momentum. In sports, whoever has the momentum at the right time, usually wins. You hope you have enough if it's a comeback. Some teams are just a blowout. They got the momentum the whole time. But whoever owns the momentum usually wins. And that's a good thing. And when you've got it, it feels great. It's like the quiet king of progress. That's what you're looking for. If you don't have it, you're looking for it. If you've got it, you want to maintain it. Exactly. Whether the force behind a comeback. I remember one time I was it was in high school basketball, and we were behind, and I hit a shot or two. I was a streak shooter. My goodness. Sometimes the streak was awful. But I remember one of the players told me after the game that Coach Deegan said, if O'Connor gets hot, we're going to come back and win this game. That particular game, O'Connor did not get hot. That was some elusive momentum on that night. However, that it's unpredictable to some degree. It's in a comeback, or you can also I'm trying not to be totally on sports, but here's a bad example, a fire. Just being in California all those years, that spark can turn into a roaring blaze and has such momentum that it's hard to keep back. Yeah, but it's whether it's sports or business or in your personal life, momentum most of the time decides who finishes strong and who just fades away. You get on that hot streak. I know it's well documented, Michael Jordan, when he got in the zone, but you can talk about any athlete, whether it's team sports or individual sports. I was never a big Tiger Woods fan, but my goodness, when he was on a roll, there's no stopping him. There's no stopping him. And when you are in that situation, you feel like you can't miss. You can't miss. I remember one time I was not having that great of a hot streak in basketball, and the coach got a ladder out and took me up on the ladder, and we looked at the rim. And that from up there, it's so big, and you can actually fit 2 basketballs in there. And he showed me that because he knew it was a mental thing. And once I saw how big that was, I'm thinking, my goodness. The baseball players, they talk about when they're on a hitting streak, the ball coming across the plate looks like a grapefruit. And you just can't miss it. That's that way in life too. Well, you're on a roll with creativity. You've got some ideas. In sales, my goodness. I remember back in the day when I was having to sell to eat daily. Then by noon, I couldn't give up. If I was having a great day, keep selling because you may not have that momentum tomorrow. And there's not a special formula for it. But it is so nice when you have it. A Harvard Business Review did some analysis around that and found that companies with consistent positive performance momentum were 3.5 times more likely to outperform all competitors over a 5-year period. So it's not just today, tomorrow. It's consistency, positive performance momentum. And this is not a how-to for any particular discipline, sports or otherwise. It just talks to the importance of consistent, positive momentum. It's still, I don't know when this next stat was taken, but it's recent. Teams that score just before halftime they win 68% of the time. That's a football stat. I'm sorry, it's a football stat. If they score just before halftime, they've got momentum going in into the locker room, and they win 68% of the time, no matter who's got the best team, because momentum is in play. Momentum isn't luck, it's leverage. Jim Collins said that greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness is a matter of conscious choice and discipline. Okay, I don't believe in luck. I believe in momentum more than luck, but I have heard the harder I work, the luckier I get. Yeah, that's the same thing with momentum. Work your way into momentum, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But there's also there's a power behind positive motion. You've got the positive motion. You've got the work ethic. You've got the skill, preparation, planning, all of that stuff. Momentum is just like a little exponent on there. The power of that little number. Momentum is a multiplier if you're doing the work. A small win, that's going to fuel confidence. Confidence leads to more courage, more positivity. And that courage fuels consistency. And consistency creates motion, constant motion. That's why positive momentum is almost impossible to start once it's rolling. I could talk, my goodness, I've been looking. My word of the day is inertia. Positive momentum's hard to stop because you've got all of that inertia coming with you once it starts rolling. It can reshape so many things, like habits. It rewires and invigorates your optimism. If you're already optimistic, oh my goodness, you start getting some positive momentum, you're unstoppable in your mind. And if it's in your mind, it's going to be in your reality to some degree. And that makes hard things easier, and it makes impossible things possible. That positive momentum. Okay, Dave, you're getting pretty Pollyanna here. It's not all that easy. Yeah, because there's the flip side. Negative momentum is also a factor. It's also a factor. It happens. Man, 3 months ago, I can make some off-color analogies that are pretty funny, but I'm trying to keep off certain lists. But negative momentum, here's the thing about it. It doesn't mean you're defeated. The comeback stories, there's something created that deficit that required a comeback. Okay, that team that made the comeback, at one point, they had negative momentum. It just means the inertia is working against you. But the beauty of motion and positive momentum is it can change directions at the drop of a hat. That one step, that putting that foot in the ground, one single deliberate step can start a new trend, new momentum. That's why you don't give up. You can stop, but don't quit. People that quit many times quit right before the momentum changed. It's incredible. It's incredible. I know people who have quit on a business right before something changed. I know people who have quit on a marriage just a few months too early. Everything was about to change. The truth may be coming out and they were leaving because of a lie. Financial situations changed. Momentum changes in everything. And I can go to the punchline here. That's why don't get comfortable when things are going great. Enjoy it, but also don't give up when things are not going well. It's going to change. So positive momentum is like that snowball, especially on the cartoons when it grows and gets bigger and stronger and faster. Yeah, negative momentum, it's the same snowball rolling toward you. But one well-placed action can stop it or redirect it or melt it. Or its own weight can be used to your advantage. That's the thing about, I noticed it years ago. Remember when Steven Seagal wasn't 400 pounds and he was in all the fighting movies? I believe his discipline is Aikido, karate, or I don't know exactly, but I think it's called Aikido. But the whole thing is based on using using your opponent's momentum against them. So if they're coming at you, you can use their forward motion against them, using their own power and their own forward progress as a defense mechanism and turn it into offense, using their energy and redirecting it rather than stopping it and redirecting it. No, use that. Yeah. So I think the actual word is, Aikido translated is the way of harmonizing energy. So that's it. Use negative momentum to your advantage. So the whole thing around changing negative momentum into positive, I'm not gonna talk to that. I'm not even gonna talk to the negative side of that, because we're going to talk about how to gain momentum in any situation and how to maintain it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if things aren't going well. You do the same things to gain momentum, whether you've got it or not. And so let's talk about that. Just a few ways to gain momentum. It's important to start small. Don't go for that big win. Big wins come from small starts anyway. So one thing, things aren't going well, maybe, I don't know, homework and play. Just start with one daily thing you're going to do. One, non-negotiable task. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it first thing in the morning. It doesn't matter what it is. The main thing is you do it. And I could list a bunch of them. I don't want to list them because it's something that you do. It's not something that you let happen. It's something you do, because action is the key. You have to act on something, do something. Action beats perfection every time. So you get up, you do something every day. Okay? Then we've talked about stacking habits before. So it's you tie a new behavior to an existing one. Okay, I get up every day and I do the same thing. I brush my teeth. I use the bathroom. Sometimes I brush my teeth while I'm using the bathroom. There's a mental picture for you. Good night, kids. And then I make coffee. And then I'll drink my coffee. So maybe I think of something new that I can do while I'm drinking my coffee. I'm doing that anyway. Okay, is that cheating? I don't care. It's me. I can do whatever I want. But that tiny consistency creates some compounding. Here's what I'm going to do. Maybe I've got a book I've been wanting to read. Okay, so I'm going to get up every day. I get up early. And instead of scrolling on my phone or looking at my schedule or building a spreadsheet or creating an O-Talk or something like that, every day I'm going to get up while I'm drinking my coffee. I'm going to read a chapter in that book. Okay, there are 30 chapters in that book. Okay, for the next month, every day I'm going to do that. Stack them. Maybe it's something you do safely while you're driving somewhere on your commute. Maybe it's whatever, something before you go to bed. But start small and stack the habits with something you're already doing. I am a firm believer that's going to create some type of momentum, but I'm a believer in goals. If you can write them down and track them, do it. And you can. Maybe that's one of the things you do every day. What's my goal for today? Don't get into the work. Talk about the goal. People who track progress of their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? In business, we track, when I'm coaching and trying to build something, I track activities. Activities are building blocks for results. You didn't sell anything. Okay, how many calls did you make? How many tries? What's your close rate? You don't know any of that. So we track activities until we see a trend. Okay? The trend may be something you talk about, the type of person you're seeing, the time of day, your closing skills, all of these things. Okay? You have to do it X number of times for us to understand how effective you are. Then we can adjust. If you don't track it, and you get beginner's luck, boom, you knocked it out of the park. Man, you're a good salesman. No, you're just lucky at the right place, right at the time. You have momentum on your side. However, tomorrow, can you do it again? Can you do it twice tomorrow before noon? Okay. What about in the afternoon? What do? Wait, you have to track these things. You have to have a goal, then you track it. That keeps away beginner's luck, and you can consistently build momentum. I'm talking about sales, but I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about hugs. Whatever you want to apply it to. Have a goal and track it. Track your progress. Track your activities. It's fun when you're reaching your goals or getting closer to them. If your goal is weight loss, that's simple. I'm not losing weight. I need to track what I'm eating. I need to track my exercise. You track those and then, oh my goodness, I lost 4 pounds. All right. Tracking progress. All right. Next one. Move. Get your lazy butt up. Physical activity increases everything. Motivation, focus, heart rate, health rate, mental state. Move. Physical activity can increase focus and motivation, which they go hand in hand, 25%. Just by getting up and moving. That's why a lot of people now, you got those standing desks, they work standing up. I've seen desks on a treadmill. Now let's calm down a little bit. My goodness, my workman's comp would be through the roof if I worked on a treadmill. But move around. Maybe you build that into the first thing of the day. I got to have coffee first. If I don't have coffee, I'm not going for a walk. I can go for a walk with my coffee. But move. And then create early wins. Start small, but create these early wins. Do something today that feels like progress. Okay? Send an email, a positive text. Clean your workspace. Organize your workspace. Call somebody you hadn't talked to in a while. Call somebody that you usually only text. They're going to think something's wrong. But call them just, hey, you know what? I usually text you. I just want to hear your voice. That will make their day. And they'll make your day back. You did it. That's creating an early win. Momentum starts with that moment. See, these are simple. I didn't say build a building or a bridge or break the sound barrier or the 4-minute mile. No, these are easy. Start small. Stack the habits. Have a goal and track it. Move your body and create an early win. Okay, so you've got it. It's not earth-shattering, but in your own mind, you've got something going. That's going to affect your next activity, homework or play. You're going to leave that conversation smiling. You're going to be smiling when you start the next one, which starts that one off positively. See how momentum keeps going? And so when you get it, that's fantastic. How do you keep it? This is revolutionary. If somebody could find a way to gain momentum and keep it in sports, you'd be on top of everybody's list as an athlete or a coach or a general manager or whatever. Isn't it the same thing though? At work, I like to think I can create some momentum. The areas we probably pay less attention to is some of our relationships. We take them for granted. And we don't think about momentum because it's just, it's there. Has to be. We're friends. My best friend, we have to be there. This is my wife. I've been married forever. I just take it for granted. Isn't that sad? I think it's human nature, but it's still sad. That's why that special call I talked about, or a date night, or a vacation, or something to show, hey, we need to get this momentum going again. Okay, so you've got it. Let's just say we've got it. Boom, you have momentum. How do you keep it? So I got a few ways. First thing is you got to guard your environment. And by your environment, just the energy around you. Internally and around you. Positive people, encouragers. Be an encourager. That creates momentum. Get rid of your excuses. Things are bad. Or when you've got the momentum, too many good things are happening. Something bad's going to happen. Cast that demon into the lake of fire. Now, let's keep it going. Guard your environment. Negativity is friction that's going to slow you down. Keep it going. What's next? Let's keep this positive energy going. And by positive energy, I mean stay positive. I'm not talking about some karma-infested illusion. No. Make your own luck. Whatever. Guard that environment and keep the negative, toxic people away. First thing, you got the momentum, let's keep it. There's still progress. Celebrate it. Recognize the small things. Gratitude posts what I do constantly because I make sure I stop, even when I'm feeling a slowdown. Maybe I haven't lost my momentum, but I feel it slowing a little bit. Let's look around. What we got to be grateful for? That's what I mean by celebrate progress. Recognize small wins. Maybe that win is something that declined, but not as much as you thought it would. Oh, sweet. That's something to be thankful for. I lost most of my money. I didn't lose it all. I still have. That's a stretch. But don't skip small victories. And sometimes those small victories are someone else's that you notice. Say something positive. Give them a pat on the back. Give them an attaboy. Their response may keep your momentum going. Stir something. I love it. So we've got it. Let's keep it. Stay accountable. Stay accountable. Tell somebody your goals. Tell somebody where you stand in relation to those, because you're tracking them. Remember? You're tracking them. Public accountability boosts follow through by 65%. Sometimes you'll do it for them more than yourself just because you don't want to have to tell them you failed. Keep it. Tell somebody. Stay accountable. Some of the hardest people to coach are ones that are winning right now. So when you've got that momentum, sometimes we feel like, this is great. I'm untouchable. I'm in the zone. Then you miss a shot. Then you miss another. Now you're doubting the third one. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Stay accountable. Tell somebody. Make it visible. And understand that this is still work. It's still work. You can enjoy it, but stay accountable. Also, and I see this too often, this is along with you can stop but don't quit. Adjust. Don't abandon. You've got the momentum. Okay, all right, I need to keep it, but I need to make these adjustments. That's many times. You see that halftime adjustment and the team comes out and, it's fantastic. You may get off track a little bit, but pivot. Don't quit. Momentum thrives on your adaptability. I can think of many anecdotes. It's going around a track. The Apollo 11, the slingshot around the gravity field that created momentum. They used that. The whole thing with the keto martial arts, using momentum to adjust. Don't abandon. And then sometimes you got to rest. I know, we got momentum. You said, Dave, do action, move your body. Now you're saying rest. Sometimes, even a wave, before it gets more energy, it pulls back and then crashes. A tidal wave, the water goes back. The ships are on the ground, and then here it comes. So rest with a purpose. That renewal keeps momentum sustainable, because you can't just keep going. You're going to wear yourself out. However, when you rest with a purpose, that invigorates your energy, the people around you, the momentum, and you come back even stronger. And all of this, have failed miserably trying to make other analogies than sports for momentum, but they just come natural because you think of that comeback and it happens in a short period of time. Either happens or doesn't happen, and it's a microcosm of life. But at home, work and play, at home, momentum it's like peace in motion, small routines that keep the chaos away. And then all of a sudden the dogs come in or the kids come in running everybody. Yeah, but it can be those small moments of peace. It can be you make the bed or you cook. Or I remember with my kids, the talk before bedtime was always great because they were all of a sudden very interested in what I had to say and had all these questions. They didn't want to go to bed. But at home, you have routines, and that rhythm creates stability. That's nice. And you have a certain momentum at certain times of day. And you notice when something breaks that, okay, but you can get it back. At work, it's built on clarity of the mission and what you're building. If you're clear on that and why it matters, okay, that builds some momentum. It doesn't just need caffeine. Mine does. Caffeine, bacon, but direction. At work, you need that. Not that you don't need direction at home, but that's ways that you can do that. It's very important at work for them to believe in the mission. Well, you got to have a mission and a plan. And then at play, I think momentum at play it's joy without guilt. I deserve this. I deserve this round of golf. I deserve this hike. I deserve this day of going from casino to casino. I'm not feeling guilty. I earned this. And see, that's a great time to recharge. Rest with purpose doesn't mean a nap. It can, but you can recharge on purpose. Then you return with purpose and energy and momentum. Positive energy from playtime spills directly into productivity at home and work. It does. It creates a momentum, and that's a good thing. Have you ever had a time when things were going really well at work, and your relationships were going really well, and man, hey, you know what? I broke 80 playing golf. Oftentimes momentum carries over into different parts of your life. Momentum is a wonderful thing. And then I'll go back to the tidal wave analogy. Momentum it's a lot like the ocean in that it doesn't care how you feel. No, momentum doesn't care. I really don't feel at my best today, or I don't feel like doing that, or I got a headache, or my stomach's upset. Yeah, ocean doesn't care how you feel. Neither does momentum. It responds to movement. A tidal wave of momentum, it can crash through fear, confusion, an upset stomach, insecurity, hesitancy, procrastination. Once you're moving, those obstacles lose their grip. You know, what do they say for a hangover? Hair of the dog? Last thing you want to do is take another sip of what made you feel this way. Hey, it's movement. It's activity. When you're sick, you need to eat. Eat something to build your strength. That's the last thing you want to do. But doing that builds your strength. You have to have movement. And when you do, all these reasons, they're losing their grip. All the negativity, it loses its grip. Fear thrives on stillness. Confusion gets even stronger with hesitation. But forward movement creates clarity. You get through that fog. You get through that negative situation. You get through those situations. Yeah, it's very important. I use a lot of my components in the O-Talks just about reflection, humor, honesty, curiosity, courage, to ignite momentum inside of current momentum. That helps keep going and increases it. You can always do better. Be grateful, but you can always do more. Each conversation, each story, each act of self-awareness, that's going to fuel that next wave of power. And it doesn't matter if you don't feel like doing it today. Do it anyway. Do something. Movement. Momentum doesn't care how you start. It only cares that you don't stop. And for God's sakes, don't quit. You can steer. I learned to drive. Actually, I learned how to drive in a parked car. Actually, I learned how to change gears. And it's a parked car, you can't really turn the steering wheel. I remember when I first started driving with power steering, my goodness, I was jerking that car all over the place because I was pretending to drive in a parked car. You can't steer a parked car. But once you start moving, I only can control that. It's much easier. It's not as hard as you thought. Momentum's the same way. Move. And you'll find it's not as hard as you thought. Face the fear, face the insecurity, face the hesitancy. Do all that. Move. The beauty of momentum is that it builds. It builds progress. It builds belief. And it builds it faster. That's the momentum part. It's not arduous. Once you have that, it builds it faster than belief builds action. It is. And it can come out of nowhere. Okay, I did the analogy. I hit a bunch of shots, then I missed a few. Now I'm scared I'm going to miss again. I hit another, oh, maybe it's back. Oh, I hit 2 in a row, I'm hot again. Boom. All of a sudden, that's what happens. So start where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. You're not going to give up. You're not going to quit. And keep going. Keep moving. The rest will follow you. It will. It doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. So we can put this into action. Just a few action items. Pick one small area, like we talked about before. It can be home, work, or play. It can be one in each. And then create a trigger for that. When this happens, I'm going to do that. The good thing about this is when I see something that reminds me of somebody, I'm going to text them saying, I saw this and I thought of you. I saw this and thought about the time. That's the trigger. It's going to happen at some point during the day. Something's going to happen and make you think of somebody. That's the trigger. All right? It can be anything. Pick a 7-day momentum streak. Each day, document one positive forward-moving action. What did I do? Okay, I walked 10,000 steps. All right, if I do that every day, okay, that's good. All right, I'm going to walk 15 on Saturday or 20 on Saturday. That's just an example. I'm going to introduce myself to one stranger every day. Okay? If it's toward the end of the day and I haven't done it yet, maybe you have to set a reminder. Maybe you have to do something. I remember when I was doing steps in a step challenge, I'd be on the road and I didn't get my steps in. It's 10:30 and I'm walking around a hotel trying to get in my steps. Okay, you have to do it. 7-day momentum streak. Each day, one forward action. Home, work, or play. Write them down. You're writing down on something. What is it today? Plan it ahead of time. 7 days. You can do anything for 7 days. Share your progress with somebody. External energy amplifies internal drive. It can be, depending on what it is. If it's something work-related, maybe you tell somebody at work. I've got to go on a golf trip here in a couple of weeks. Next week, and don't say you're going to try, I'm going to go to the driving range 3 times. 3 times. I haven't played golf since the last one. I'm going to go 3 times. I could build that into my 7-day momentum streak. Okay? But tell somebody. Share the progress too. Then reward yourself. Reward the activity. Be like Evel Knievel. Even if he gets paid for the attempt. Even if you don't make it. Reward the motion, not just the result. Come on. Give yourself a break. And then revisit this. At the end of a week, look at it. Okay, where am I versus where I started? What's moving me forward? What do I feel good about? What do I feel like, okay, that turned out better than I thought. Or, you know what, I made some progress. I'm not where I want to be, but I've created some momentum. What's moving me forward? And then think about, okay, what held me back there? Was it how I felt? Okay, why did I feel that way? I don't know. Was it the mornings? Was it the nights? Was it preoccupation? Whatever. You think about what's moving you forward and then what's holding you back. Now you can address both. Keep doing that, stop doing that, or do less of that. You're creating momentum. So just final thought. Momentum is not magic. It's management. You're managing yourself. You're managing your thoughts. You're managing your movement. That can create momentum or sustain momentum when it either exists or it needs to be maintained. So you manage your motion, and you're going to manage your life. The control, the freedom, and the resolve. Keep moving, and you know what? Momentum will meet you halfway. Pretty good promise there. It happens while you're moving, and it'll meet you halfway. And you don't know where halfway is. How about that? So I love it. I love the zone. I love it when things feel like they're clicking, man. It's great. Gives you confidence, makes you want to keep going, and it's easy when you got it. So maintain it. And then if you don't have it, we've talked about the things to create it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hit me up at dave@otalks.com or david@otalks.com, or go on the website, and there's tons of stuff there. And then, hey, get that momentum going. Tell me what you've done, what you're doing, what's clicking, what's not. Please, I love the emails. They're fantastic, and I answer every one. All right, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on with the Big Mo today. But most of all, thanks for Talking with Dave. Giddy up.
Hello there. Are you out of work or looking for a new career? Do you feel like you have a lot of potential and just haven't hit your stride? We know just how you feel, and we are here to help. We are Cult Leader University, and we have the curriculum for you. Clue offers options to fit your schedule. Clue has entry-level courses in stockpiling, Kool-Aid making, catchy sing-alongs, and entry-level recruiting techniques. Once you've mastered these, you can move on to advanced courses in pontificating, standing like a guru, mastering the nostril flare, and holding an intimidating stare. Enroll at Clue, and if you pay for a full year in advance, Clue will help you develop your mantra, give you ideas for clothing requirements, and equip you with original handshakes, utterings, or code names. Don't wander around in anonymity. Enroll in Clue and set your own rules. At Cult Leader University, we can't imagine what you're capable of, but we know it's impressive. Cult Leader University can change your life and the lives of anyone unfortunate enough to be around you. Remember, if you don't have a clue, we are the school for you.